Ashton Carter will likely be picked to succeed Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. Carter served as the chief deputy to both Hagel and former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta.
The job that no one seemed to want may now fall to a man who is not only qualified for the post, but may actually strike some fear into the heart of American and global enemies. Well, let's welcome to MidPoint then senior defense analyst at the Rand Corporation and a noted expert in Northeast Asian military issues, Bruce Bennett. Bruce, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Bruce, let's look back at Ashton Carter. In 2006, apparently he wanted to take out a surgical strike on a North Korean missile base at that time. Is this the kind of guy that the North Koreans would fear being in this position, or quite frankly, is he just a placeholder for the time being?
No, I think they will be very worried about someone who is prepared to take such active action. You look at the history with North Korea, they have very much valued their nuclear weapons, and if we had followed Ash Carter's perspective, they may not have them at this point.
Would that be a good move, I guess, at this? Well, let's just look at it. A first strike against North Korea. That's been talked about in a lot of places before, and people say that you just don't do it. But is it necessary?
That's the question. We don't really know because we don't know a whole lot about the North Korean society and their logic, how desperate they would be and how they might use those weapons. But it is at least a very good option to have considered, now far more difficult to do.
Is that what we need to do at this point from a defense standpoint, whether it's Ashton Carter or anybody else, pretty much go eye to eye with the North Koreans and tell them, we're ready, go ahead, let's start this, instead of being conciliatory? Is that what they would then, North Korea at least, fear more than sitting back and waiting?
Yeah, North Korea is a society where strength is the key. If we appear to be weak, they're going to try and manipulate us. That's the way they work. And so taking a strong position, being prepared to say there are consequences to what you do, North Korea, I think that's a far more effective approach to dealing with the North. But it has a danger. It could actually lead to war, and we have to decide whether we're prepared to deal with that, under the understanding that no matter what we do, they could eventually go to war.
Bruce, I'll just use some simple language that a lot of Americans would use in this kind of a conversation. Are the leaders in North Korea simply just crazy enough to go ahead and start launching nukes at a moment's need without any hesitation whatsoever?
We believe that they probably understand that in normal circumstances that would not be a smart thing to do. But if Kim Jong-un wakes up some morning as the leader of North Korea and thinks his military is about to rebel against him, he may well order them to invade the South as a diversionary action to keep them occupied. And if he does, the nuclear option is certainly on the table.
So about a minute or so that I have left, then let's get to Ashton Carter, a former professor at Harvard University. What can he do in the 18 months that he is sitting there? What should he do if he does become Secretary of Defense?
I think a big part of it is to try to develop some new rationale for how the military can be used in the current kinds of circumstances, whether it's with North Korea or elsewhere, and under such severe budget constraints. That playoff of budget constraints versus capabilities potentially puts us in some very vulnerable situations.
Do you see him, though, as just a yes man? Because Peter Brooks from the Heritage Foundation said if you're taking the job, you sign on to support the president's agenda. You don't sign on to change it.
I think if I were Ash Carter, I would be recognizing that's likely the case, but also hopeful that I
America does not need at the moment more apologists with a platform unwilling to deliver straight answers to direct questions. That's the focus of my commentary and telling it like it is. And it's next, right here on MidPoint, where we question everything.